What's up, guys? One Koala Man here, bringing you episode number 22. I believe it is 22. Yes, number 22 of our fairy tale reviews. And in this episode, you guys, we get to see a third member of the Elemental Four of Phantom Lord. And we also get to see what Gajeel, Black Steel Gajeel, what he can do. And what he can do is pretty, unique, if I may say. But if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to hit that like button down below. Hit subscribe if you feel like it. Be sure to share it to everybody you know would enjoy this type of review. It's more of a recap instead of a review, because I don't know, maybe later we'll get into review, but there's already so many reviews, you know. But anyways, with all that said and done, before that, actually, I'm always so out of order for these. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and answer the question of the day, both which will be in the description down below. So, above all else, let's get this mother underway. So we begin today's episode off in the Phantom Lord Guild, and Phantom Lord and Fairy Tail are going at it, still, and yeah, Fairy Tail is giving Phantom Lord a run for their money. And this pretty one-sided match, you know, favoring Fairy Tail. And then Gajeel enters the fray, and he starts, you know, kicking some can. And what he does is, like, he turns his limbs into, like, steel beams. So if he, like, punches outwards, like this iron beam will just come out and shoot from his arm, and his arm will become the iron beam. It's very interesting. Same with his legs. I'm guessing his head would do that too if he decided to headbutt somebody and turn his, you know, whatever into a steel beam or whatever. But anyways, Elfman decides to that he wants to fight Gajeel, and he starts doing all right against Gajeel, and then Gajeel, like, gets one lucky punch on Elfman. Natsu comes in, uses Elfman as like a springboard, launches to Gajeel, punches Gajeel, makes Gajeel fly into the Phantom Lord's bar, and then they start going at it. Natsu, the Fire Dragon Slayer, and Gajeel, the Iron Dragon Slayer. So that is a pretty decent fight overall. So as Gajeel and Natsu are fighting, the guild hall starts shaking, and the Phantom Lord Guild is like, what the heck is that? And I thought it was because, you know, Natsu and Gajeel are, like, wrecking the place, like all the beams on the top of the roof. They're all, like, getting wrecked by Gajeel slamming through them, by Natsu slamming in through them. So I thought that was the reason. But apparently it was Makaruv's Giant's Wrath, which is pretty interesting because Makaruv's very fun size. So to hear that with Giant's Wrath with Makaruv is pretty funny. And so Makaruv goes into the room that Josei, the guildmaster for Phantom Lord, he goes in there where he is supposed to be. And he sees Josei, and he's like, Josei, why are you doing this? I want answers. And then his arm gets bigger, and he just slings his arm at Josei. And Josei is a hologram, because everybody likes doing holograms. All the bad guys love doing holograms, apparently. And so he's saying, yeah, I knew you were going to try and, you know, fight me, so I just decided not to be there. And Makaruv's calling him a coward. And Josei shows Lucy, who is also a hologram, you know, tied up on the floor. And Makaruv gets super angry, and Josei does, like, some spell, and then this big giant guy behind Makaruv appears, and he, like, touches Makaruv or something, and Makaruv just turns green, and I don't know, he just falls down the rafters, down, like the Jay Sean song, and he just slams on the floor, and they just, I don't know what the heck happened to Makaruv, honestly. So we find out that the big guy's name is Arya, and what Arya can do is he can make the powers of any wizard just disappear into thin air, which is pretty freaking broken and OP, if you ask me. And he's the third member of the Elemental Four, so we have not been introduced to the fourth member. We've been introduced to Sol, Juvia, and Arya. So I don't know who this fourth person could be. I don't know if he or she is the strongest one, but I don't know. We'll find out, you know, in the next couple of episodes, hopefully. And so after that, Fairy Tail sees Makarov on the floor, and they're saying, oh man, how did Makarov get just beaten so easily? and Makarov's like green. He's like super sick. He doesn't feel good. Well, probably because his magic got sucked out of him. And the Phantom Lord says, "Oh man, this is our chance. They don't have our master anymore." So they start getting the upper hand on Fairy Tail. But Fairy Tail still wants to fight, and Urza's saying, "No, no, no, no. Please retreat. We cannot stay here and let Makarov, suffer." And so they start retreating, but Natsu overhears Arya and Gagio talking like on the overhead rafters, and he hears them talking about Lucy being captured, and he's like, "What?" And so he gets pretty angry, and he looks at one of the goons, one of the Phantom Lord goons. He like takes him, and I don't know, he's probably just gonna interrogate him and ask where the heck is Lucy. So Natsu is, dragging this goon along with him and Happy, and the goon is saying, "I don't know where she is, man. I don't know where she is. If she was anywhere, she'd probably be at the HQ, which is the Phantom Lord's headquarters." And so they're walking towards it, and we go into the Phantom Lord headquarters, and Lucy is in there, tied up, laying down. She finally wakes up in one of the cells, and Josei comes to visit, and he's talking to Lucy about like what their main goal was for attacking Fairy Tail. And turns out that Lucy has a bit of a secret. And Lucy was born into a rich family, the Heartfilia family. And I don't know if we've been introduced to, her last name, but that's her last name, Lucy Heartfilia, which is also the name of the episode. And she was born into this rich family. So I don't know why she would leave the luxuries of that to go visit, a guild. Well, that's what Josei says also. And turns out that her father asked Phantom Lord to retrieve Lucy to bring her back home. And I was thinking, wow, he couldn't do it himself. But anyways, Lucy is like, why would he want me back? So apparently they got some bad blood with each other. And I don't really know the specifics of Lucy and Lucy's father's relationship quite yet. So Lucy absolutely, definitely, 100% does not want to go back to her father. I don't know why. Again, I hope we find out in the next few episodes or so why she doesn't want to. But she tries to escape, and she sees outside the cell door, and she's like a couple stories up, and she's just, oh man, like what am I gonna do? And the girl jumps. The girl freaking jumps. Lucy like turns her back towards the fall, and she just whoop. She just falls down, and she's saying that she heard his voice. I don't know who him is, and then she just yells out Natsu's name. I'm not gonna yell out Natsu's name because I'm not falling off a freaking 12-story building. But Natsu eventually comes to the rescue, rescues Lucy falling down. They crash into a wall, and then Natsu just pretty much came through. And so after that, what's his face? Josei is getting pretty angry because Lucy actually kicked him in the place that a man should never be kicked. And so he's getting super heated. And Natsu and Happy, who actually came with Natsu, they are arguing because Natsu wants to stay because they're at the HQ, but Happy says, no, Urza said we have to go. And they're just arguing back and forth, and then Lucy starts bawling out, crying, and she says that it's all her fault, and that she should just go back home to her father so Fairy Tail does not have to, suffer anymore, because Levy, Droid, Jet, the guild got just completely wrecked by Phantom Lord. And so she's just bawling out, and Natsu decides to carry her back to the guild, and she just doesn't know what to do. And at this same point, Josei, like I said, is getting super heated, and he gets super angry. I don't know what he's gonna do. He starts like all the energy from him starts boom, like Super Saiyan, and I'm getting scared for Fairy Tail. So hopefully by next episode we figure out what Lucy's father wants, what is the bad blood between Lucy and Lucy's father, and what is Josei going to do. And I want to get introduced to the fourth member of the Elemental Four. So that about does it for the episode of Fairy Tail. even though that was the end of the episode of Fairy Tail, that is not the end of the episode for this episode. So, like usual, I will have a question of the day, and today's question was freaking ridiculous because I cannot, like, episodes like this is kind of hard to think of a question. So, I'm not gonna really bring a question about the anime. I'm gonna bring a question about you guys. So, I want to know, what kind of music do you listen to? I'm open to all types of music, unless it's like grindcore or like screamo. I personally don't like screamo, but yeah, let me know down in the comments what your favorite music is and who or what band is your favorite to listen to. Now, my favorite music to listen to is, of course, rap. And I like rap because, sometimes it tells a story. Other times, like a lot of rap these days, pretty freaking pathetic. But I just like rap. I like the flow that they use. I like the beats. I like the lyrics in some songs. And my favorite rappers are, not in any particular order, Futuristic, KB, Hobson, Dizzy Wright, and I'll give some love for Big Sean because I do have some Big Sean songs in my iPod. So, let me know down in the comments, what is your favorite music to listen, or favorite type of music to listen to, and who is your favorite person to listen to, or what is your favorite band to listen to. You can list off a few bands or a few artists, just like I did, down in the comments below. And with that all said, in a very unorganized fashion, keep it cool.